Alright, hey, this is Doc D, and today is Wednesday, November 18th, and so I am going to go over the material for the quiz from Monday. A lot of people had some issues with that, and so we're just going to kind of walk through this. I'm going to do this in class as well today, so this is for those people who are actively quarantined or can't make it to class. So the opening sequence was that we would create a small relational database with a total of 3 tables. Table 1 would be labeled My Favorite Things and would consist of columns Animal, Color, Class, and Friends. Table 2 would be Colors, that would be the table name, and it would have a single column, and in that column would have the following colors: blue, green, purple. And then the third table would have would be named animals, and the animals that I wanted you to populate with were eagle, horse, and snake, just because of whatever. All right, and so as I said in a lecture a week or so ago, that we need to think this through before we start the process. And so we know that my large table is going to pull data from the other 2 tables. So My Favorite Things is going to pull information from table Colors and table Animals. So it just makes life easier if I actually create the subtables first, and that's kind of, you would think it would be just the opposite, but that's the way of it. All right, it just will make it so much easier if you do that first. All right, and so the handout that I provided, I don't have a way to show this, basically lists these 3 tables showing the populated information. Okay, all right, so we have our first table. It just, when we start a blank database, it starts out with basically a generic table called table 1. All right, and so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here, I'm going to double click in that, and let's just go ahead and start with colors, and I'm going to go ahead and call it colors. All right, and now I want to see, right now I'm in the data sheet view, and I really want to be in the design view. All right, but I went ahead and changed it there, and I'm just going to go ahead. I went ahead and changed the column header there to colors. Now I'm going to change the table name. I'm going to save it as colors. All right, so we already got this. The field name is colors. All right, and so we're going to go in here and we're going to make this a short text. All right, and then click out, and so now we can fill in, actually I'm just going to do red. Actually, I don't want to do that yet. And so now I'm just going to close it. Yes, I want to save changes. All right, now now I'm going to go in and I'm going to fill in my data. Let's see, red, green, and blue. All right. Okay, so there it is, and I'm just going to close that out again. Done deal. All right. So now I'm going to create the other table. Click in here, animals. All right, and I'm just going to close it. Maybe I'm going to close it. Here we go. Yes, and we're going to call that one animals. And okay. Oops, I'm on the wrong one. All right, so here we go, and so we're in animals, and I'm in the data sheet view, but I need to be in the design view, because in the design view I can actually tell it what that field name is going to be. And so here I'm going to go down and short text. Alright, click out, and then just go ahead and close that. Yes, I want to save it. Now if I go back to animals, and then I'm in the data sheet view, which is what I want. Eagle, horse and snake. I don't know, and I'm sure Freud would have a field day with why I picked an eagle and a horse and a snake, but whatever. Alright, and now I'll just go ahead and close that back out, because I'm done with that for the moment. I can close that one out and I'm done with it. So now we've got a table with animals that has one column called animals. It has 3 different data sets underneath that. If I open up colors, same thing. I have one column called colors, and it has 3 different data points in it. All right. So now that we've done that, let's do our, and this is where it's really easy to make a mistake. And when you make, and again, I'm not really a big proponent of access, because it's really easy to make mistakes that are very difficult to recover from. And in most cases, if you make a mistake in a table, it's actually quicker and easier just to delete that table and any relationships that you've established with it and start over, rather than trying to go through the relationships and getting everything to do what you want it to do. All right, I'm going to drag that down just a little bit so you can actually see it. I do have this minimized because what I was noticing is that in the videos a lot of the header information was getting cut off. So okay, so we're making a new table. Alright, and let's see. So let's see what do we want to do. Yeah, so we're going to do this. All right, let's go here. So we're going to take my. Actually, I think I used underscores. Favorite things. Yeah. Okay. Great. All right. So here we are now. So we went from spreadsheet view to layout view, design view. Excuse me. And now I can actually go through and so I'm going to type friend. Alright, and that's going to be something that I type in, short text, right? Okay, easy enough. Class, and this is something that I probably could have created another table for, but I didn't. We'll just leave that as something that you can manually fill out. Alright, so now we're going to color. Alright, and so here we're going to go down and we're going to do a lookup wizard. And I do want to get the values from the other table, because we're going to go to, what am I on here? Color. So we're going to go to the color table. Alright, next. Alright, and so I'm going to select colors. Alright. Here I have the option of, and so I could actually, if I had a query already built, I could pull from that, but for right now we're just pulling from the table. Next. Alright, colors, it only has one field, so there's only one available, so I have to flip that over there. Alright, we'll stay with ascending order. Next. Alright, so this shows me the things that it will be able to choose from, which is exactly what we want. Alright, now on here, on this one, you could actually finish. Alright, and don't do that. For this one it would be okay, but for other tables, other tables it would not. Because here is the check sheet, or the checkbox, just to allow multiple values, so that if I wanted them to be able to say, yeah, I have 2 favorite colors, you know, red and green, if I click this allow multiple values, then it'll allow them to select multiple values. Alright, in this case we're just going to allow 1, and so I'll go ahead and finish that. Table must be saved. Yep, sounds good. Alright, and now we're going to go down here and we're going to do animal singular. Alright, and we're going to click over here and we're going to go to our lookup wizard. Alright, same thing. It is the correct table. Alright, and we're going to be selecting from animals, and we're going to go next. Ascending order is fine. Alright, and that's what we want. I want to be able to select from these 3 categories. Next, again, always use click next, because you don't want to skip this one, because in some cases we want to be able to have multiple values. Alright, and finish. Alright, and save it. Alright, so now the hard part is there. So let's go ahead and close this out. Alright, and now I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and I'm in the datasheet view, and I'm going to put I don't know, Isaac, class is sophomore, color. Now I should be able to select from the drop down box, and his favorite color is blue. Alright, and so now I'm going to go into animal. His favorite color is eagle. Right? Alright, let's see, we'll use his friend Caitlin. I don't know what class she is, we'll say that. Her favorite color is, we'll say it's blue as well. And then the favorite animal, Caitlin's definitely a horse gal. Alright, and then we'll use Zane. I think he's a sophomore as well. I don't really know. And Zane's color, and the favorite color is green. Alright, and then his favorite color, or favorite animal, is a horse as well. Alright. Okay, so that's the first question, is that I established 3 different tables. And then actually it's the second question as well, where I established the relationships. Alright, so, and we know that those relationships are established because when I go in here to fill out this thing, it is pulling from, I'll be a snake guy, why not? I don't like snakes, but whatever. Okay, so the fact that I get pull downs from these tells me that I've already established that relationship, and it is correct. Alright, that's what we wanted. Alright, so now we're done with that, so let's go ahead and close this out. Alright, and now question 3 is create a form. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, question 3. Well, alright. So let's create a form. Alright, and so actually the way I worded it, it was wonky. I'll admit that. Alright. And so create a form for my table, so the drop box will let you choose the 4 colors and the 4 animals in their respective columns. Alright, well, it's already done. As soon as I clicked create form, it did it. Alright. So maybe we want to reorganize this. Alright, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Delete that. There we go. Okay, so now it's a form, and so when I click on this form, it will click up these, and I'll be able to select from eagle, or not eagle, but the colors and all that good stuff. Alright, so let's close it. It's going to ask me if I want to save it. Yes. My favorite things form _ form. Okay. Alright, now if I click on here, alright, so the advantage of having a form is that I can look at a record in its entirety, and then I can scroll through all that good stuff, and I can also create. And so now I can create a new one. We'll say John, class freshman, and animal is horse, and then color is red. Alright, and then if I go to the next one, okay, there's a new one. Alright, so now I have 6 of 6, right? Now, if I go back here to my favorite things and click on it, we notice that John is not in there, you know. So if I close that, and close that, and then I click on this table here. It should be there, but it's not. Why isn't it there? That's really weird. Huh. It didn't save our last one. That's weird. Alright, why didn't it save it? Again, not a big fan of Access. It just is Eagle color red. Okay. Now it should have saved it. Alright, if I go back up here, it's still not there. Close that. Close that. Open the table back up. There it is. Oh, it actually did do it. I just misread it. Okay, cool. Alright, again, Access is quirky. Access is really quirky. Alright, so that's the form. And now we want to create a report. Alright, and so forms are for looking at individual records as well as simplified data entry. So instead of doing a spreadsheet view, and again, you know, if this was a large set of data, you know, typing all that stuff into a spreadsheet can be really tedious. And I know for me, with my TBI, you know, it's really easy to flip stuff and get stuff out of order. And so having a form allows me to create something in the way that I think. All right, probably the easiest way to do it. All right, create. Now we're going to do a report. Where's the report at? There it is. All right, create report, and so here's our report, and so we literally can. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. All right, so we need to change our view. Let's see. We want to do layout view. All right, and so first off, let's talk about this report. What's the purpose of report? Well, a report allows me to format the data that's going to be exported, typically to a printer, or it could be exported to a file. I mean, you have a lot of different options, but what we're going to suggest right now is that it's for a printer. All right, and so especially for a printer, if we look right here, we see this dotted line, right? So if this were going to print out, this is where the page break is. All right, and so we would actually get a blank sheet that printed out with this that had nothing on it, essentially. All right, except for the 1 of 1 would show up on the bottom of that. All right, so we're going to format this the way that we want it, and so most of the time reports are generated as the result of a query. All right, but you know, for now we're just creating an actual report. All right, so I'm going to go into my views. I'm going to do layout view, all right, which I'm in, and let's say that, you know, for purposes of this report, I don't need to know what class they are, right? So I can just right click that and I can delete column and it's gone. All right, and then I also can go in here and I can adjust these column widths. All right, so when we created this as a short text, right, it allowed X amount of spaces. All right, but as we start gathering data, we may realize that, oh, you know, that was way more than what we needed, and so we can actually just go in here and we can kind of truncate this, and it will do that. All right. All right, same thing for horses. So in actuality, for the name, I would probably still leave it fairly large, because as we input more information, you know, we might get that person that you know, has the alphabet characters for their name. For this, though, you know, we have a set table, and it is what it is, so it's not going to be any different, right? Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Undo that. Undo that. All right. Oh, come on now. You silly thing. All right. All right. So you see what happened there is I got the four-cornered arrow, which grabs the whole thing, and we'll move it around. So if I did that, oops, no, arg. What are you doing, you silly thing? There. Goodness gracious. All right, let's try this again. I'm becoming less and less of a fan of Access every day. All right. So click there, get that. Let's scoot that down. And I can grab this and pull it over here. And, say I just want to put that in the middle of the page. Whatever. Okay. So, all right. So question number 4, create a report from my table, my favorite things that will return all the data for the table, but we'll print the names first. And so it's already set up that way. Okay. So the problem is that when I actually created this table, I didn't go off of the table that I provided you. I just put them in the order that I wanted them originally, and I would have had them. So let's grab that and let's put it over here. There we go. So there I went ahead and just moved those around. All right, just to show you that, originally friend was the last one in the table that I provided you. Again, my bad, I went through. All right, so let's go ahead and delete that row. All right, and there it is. Okay, so that was it. That was the hard part. All right, and then the back page was all SQL queries. All right, so that's all I was asking you to do for the quiz. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. But that's it in a nutshell. I sat down and did this without any real prior thought to it. Made a few mistakes, and again, the biggest problem with Access is that if you make mistakes, it's hard to rectify them. It's not very intuitive. Anyhow, talk to you out. Hope you have a great day.